Alright, let's talk about something that's often whispered about, but rarely discussed openly. Does the Bible include a rape doctrine? Now, that's a loaded question. I'm not here to shock or offend, but to actually dig into what's really written in these ancient texts. First things first, there's no single rape doctrine spelled out in the Bible. But there are stories and laws that mention sexual violence, and honestly, some of them are pretty disturbing by today's standards. For example, in the book of Deuteronomy, there are laws about what should happen if a man forces himself on a woman. Sometimes those laws seem to punish the perpetrator, but other times, they feel deeply unfair, like requiring a woman to marry her attacker. That's tough to read, and it raises big questions about justice, gender, and consent in the ancient world. So why is it even there? Well, the Bible was written thousands of years ago in a world with very different values and social structures. What sounds shocking to us now was, unfortunately, a reflection of how societies functioned back then. But, and this is important, many people of faith interpret these passages differently today. Some see them as a source of historical context, not as rules to live by. Others point to overarching messages in the Bible about dignity, compassion, and justice for victims. It's also worth noting, many modern Christian communities reject any idea that these ancient laws should guide our ethics now. Instead, they focus on empathy, protection, and supporting survivors. So, is there a rape doctrine in the Bible? Not really, at least not in the way people sometimes claim. What we find instead are difficult texts that challenge us to think about justice and humanity, both then and now. The real question is, how do we choose to interpret and apply these ancient words in our world today? Thanks for sticking with me through a tough topic. If you've got thoughts or questions, drop them in the comments. And remember, history is messy, but asking questions is always worth it.